part 2 of I Know What You Did Last Summer in-depth horror discussion review, where we break it down scene by scene. Alright, we left off.
Alright, we left off at one of the most...
With the infamous letter. She shows up a year later at college, you know,
important parts of the movie.
With no bags and just a teddy bear. No, and there's only one letter for her. Out of a whole year, there's only one piece of mail.
Oh yeah, it's like a total rental home.
So
there's like nothing in the whole house, and like
there's your
just but one letter from the freaking killer.
There's your first plot hole.
Or the person.
Anyway, so she opens it up and it's just like, I know what you did last summer.
No, but the horror feel throughout this movie is pretty decent. It's above average, I'd say.
And she already read on the
It's a mixture between hardcore 90s and good horror.
She already read on the front of the envelope that there is no return address
90s style
and there is no name where it's from. And so she reads the letter, and then she asks her mom. She has the balls to ask her mom. She has the audacity to be like, "Hey, who sent this?" Even though there's no return address.
I don't know. Honey.
Yeah, I'm sure her mom knows. Her mom who thinks she's on drugs. I'm sure she knows who sent the letter.
So then she reads it the whole day and whole night, and it cuts to a night scene. She's in her bed, like with the note, and it only is. Like, and it's only that one sentence. I know what you did last summer.
She's staying up all night. She's staying up all night. Yeah.
I mean, the envelope, her address, like had more writing on it.
And she's freaking just holding the note, looking at it like, oh, then she's all scared.
No, then she looks outside.
And the freaking wind shuttering. And
it's a total set. And the set fan is blowing. And all the fake trees.
No, you mean one of those fans from freaking Sam's
Club.
For
a hot air balloon.
No, from Sam's Club. Those big, they have in the hallways, down the aisle, so that you cool down. Yeah, it's what they got blown up into her room, like right on her, like a cameo to blow her hair.
In her backyard.
Alright, anyways.
It's a tight horror to feel though. So it goes. So next day she goes into town.
Yeah, she goes into town.
She goes to Sarah Michelle Gellar's family business.
Yeah, they go to their family business
to get her number in New York. And she finds out that she's working there. Of course, that she already moved back
her sister's
in that year.
She's like, FYI, she's not in New York. Turn around, she's right there, freaking stacking shelves. Nah, she's like putting away jewelry in like the freaking like casing. But anyways, she's like, hey.
What is that? Like,
and it's like emotional, like 1 year. She's like, I
got the note.
She's like, what happened?
And they're like two girls. So
I thought you were going to New York.
Like, let's just go straight to Ryan's, of course.
So they go to the
Ryan Philippe's.
So they go to the blonde boy's house, and it's a pretty tight. They walk up from the So when they first show up, they're in the backyard when they first show. It doesn't even make sense.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
They show up from the backyard.
A light cigarette.
Yeah, anyway,
might as well be smoking the air.
She's smoking hot. Anyways.
No, I'm saying she's smoking a cigarette walking up to the beach.
Yeah,
in the backyard.
And it's a Marlboro Light. You might as well be smoking air.
And it's Barry with sunglasses on.
Yeah, and he's hold up. No, I was saying the house though. It's got 2 decks, and the top deck is it's pretty dope. The way they got the double deck there.
He's the rich boy.
And there's no stairs that lead up to the double deck. It's pretty. I'm just saying the house is beautiful.
And he's like, "This is nothing. I know what you did last summer. What did you fucking do?" In the words of Eric Beardall.
No. He's reading. They show him the letter, and he's like, "I know what you did last summer." He's like, "No, this is a crock of shit." That's what he says exactly. It's hilarious. He's like,
and then he looks at Sarah Michelle Gellar. He's like, "You look like shit. Run over twice."
He's like, both of you look like shit.
Oh yeah, and all the girls
he's
in
like,
this,
Buffy,
they're just wearing the most hardcore,
he's
cliche.
He's like, Buffy, you too. You look like shit.
Like vintage '90s clothes throughout it.
Oh yeah, hardcore.
If at any point you don't know you're in the '90s, there's some that comes around the corner reeking of it, and it's usually their clothes, like
and it's
with
just
some
reeking
retarded,
in the '90s,
like flannels and shit.
Alright, so freaking
she was wearing flannels, and then another part in this, we'll get into it once we get to that part. So anyway, he's like, it's nothing. No, he's like, I think it's Max.
No, he's like, why send a letter? They're all like, why send a letter 1 year later? That's what he's saying. And then freaking, he's like, don't test me, mother, because he's like, it's not a murder. She says murder, and he looks over to the right, and it's like his mom in the kitchen with the door open. She's like, it was an accident.
Oh, and this is when she's like, she researched David Egan on her freaking 97 laptop with dial-up internet. You know what I'm talking about. And that's when she looked up. She's like, I already know who it is, because a body showed up 3 months later, like in a shrimp net, they say.
Yeah, so she thinks it's this guy named David.
And the police thought it was an accident. That's what she tells them. And so they go to So they go to talk to Max because they think it's definitely him because they killed the guy they know.
Yeah, so Max working down at the docks. So they go to the docks and he's freaking working fish and stuff.
And he goes to rough him up at the docks with the fish.
And you're like, oh, that figures. The kid in your grade who couldn't even like go out with anyone. Of course, he's working at the docks. All right, go. So they see Max at the docks, and then freaking and the blondie's like, all right, I'll freaking handle this. Tells the chicks that.
That's when we see the fish hook for the first time.
And he goes in there and he's like, what's up, Max? I want to talk to you for a minute. And he's like, it's somewhere private. And he's like, this isn't private.
The weapon that I know.
He's like, this isn't private enough for you. And they're like in the back part of the boat. There's no one around. It's fine. And so
he comes out and he's like, I scared the shit out of him.
No, he goes, takes him back there, and he freaking grabs the hook, and he's like, you mother... No, I'm joking. No, but he's just like, hey, man, why'd you send that letter, man? He's like, don't, So, anyway, so we think it's Max, but, we don't know, we don't know. But anyway, so he comes out, and he says, I scared him good. So, where's it go from there? JBM 2005.
That's when they run into Freddie Prinze.
Oh yeah, they come outside.
He's wearing a black tank top.
He's right on the other next boat, right next door on the same docks. Like freaking wearing a black tank top. We're doing the same thing, doing fishing. You're like Freddie Prinze Jr., our main jock, our star quarterback.
Yep, he's in town. He 1 year
Dude,
after.
he's freaking working crawfish.
He took community college off his first year to work the docks and get crabs every day.
She's got crabs, all right, for sure now.
No, then Ryan Phillippe puts his shades on. He's like, have a nice life.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. Blondie's like, oh hey man, I haven't seen you forever. And he's like, all right, you guys have a nice life, and he just walks away. It's like it's like a hi bye. He's like, hey, Freddie Prinze Jr., peace out. He's like, I'm rich boy, peace.
At any point in his career, he couldn't be any cooler.
Yeah, he's pretty badass, dude. No, so then Jennifer.
Cruel Intentions.
No, and then the other chick,
No,
so the other chick, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is like, hey, call me, we'll do lunch or something. So she walks away, and then Jennifer Love Slut stays back to talk to Freddie Prinze Jr., and he's like, yeah, what's going on? And blah, blah, blah. And then freaking, she's like, yeah, I think I know who the guy's name is. His name's David, blah, blah, blah.
No, then Freddie Prinze is sober ass. He's like, I kind of feel so responsible. Do you hold me responsible? She's like, no, I don't hold you responsible.
It's all emotional. And then she runs away.
It's a hardcore sober line.
No, and then she's wearing overalls, and she runs away, waving her hands like she's
Janie
freaking Janie
from Not Another Teen movie.
Yeah, with the paint stain.
Did anyone else notice that?
Covered overalls.
Leave a comment. Tell us your thoughts about this movie.
Paint stain covered overalls. All right, anyways. So she runs away flapping her hands, and then it cuts to freaking...
This is the first death, the second death
Yeah,
scene.
Oh no, it still says at the docks, yeah, and it's Max. It cuts back to Max, and he's still working, freaking, doing fish and stuff.
Okay, the only likable character who had witty lines in this...
No, the guy has nothing to do with it. He just freaking, passed him, just passed by and talked to him that night. He has nothing to do with it, but he gets killed first.
Yeah, and he gets killed first for no reason.
Alright,
just because it's a movie script.
So then the freaking guy...
And they're like, we gotta kill off the secondary
The killer
character,
wearing the legendary
raincoat.
Together. He's wearing the legendary freaking, And then he freaking grabs the hook, freaking pushes Mac against the ice.
That was actually the tightest kill of the movie, too.
It's pretty... Oh, I know
That's
they
the only
cut
one
it,
that
though. They cut it.
No, they don't. They show him getting the hook
cut
up
his jaw.
No, they cut every other death in this freaking movie.
Yeah,
is what they
do.
Because they're like, oh, the main actors, we don't want them to seem to get killed grotesquely because it's the 90s and it's still a little campy. So anyway, but that kill was good because he was a secondary actor.
That kill goes on, and then it cuts to Blondie, and he's at the gym working out.
That's the first time we see the fisherman and the fish hook, the villain.
Yeah, so it's the first time we see the first kill and first villain. Anyway.
Oh, then it's Blondie working out. Ryan Phillippe, Barry, and he's kickboxing.
No, he's freaking like
MMA shit.
It's like rock playing,
and
he's like, actually, I don't even know if it's rock playing, but it probably is rock playing.
Not boxing.
So he's freaking.
Boxing is 10 times better than mixed martial arts.
So he goes back to his freaking locker. And freaking, it's like the picture. Sport. It's like the picture hanging out, and it's like the penis. No, it's not the penis picture. That's from freaking Scary Movie. But anyways,
it's a picture, Scary Movie penis.
It's a picture of his car, and it says "I know," and freaking. So he's like, "What the f?"
Shit is not cool, man.
No, so he runs around like the side of the lockers, and then he comes back to his locker.
No, he's yelling hello.
He closed his locker, and he comes back, and it's open, and he's like, "What the f?" And he looks in there, and his jacket's stolen. So then freaking.
That's when he walks out and his car gets stolen because his keys are in his jacket.
No, he comes out. No,
then the car starts chasing him.
He comes out to the old guy. He comes up to the old guy in the lobby and he's like, "Hey, old timer, is there anybody else working out here tonight?" And he's like, "Just me and you." He's just me and you, Blondie. Anyway, so he cuts out there, and it's the guy starts up his car.
They don't show who's driving it. It's total.
But obviously, it's it's the killer. But obviously, it's a total stuntman. Anyways, so freaking.
It's chasing them like.
He turns on the headlights like it's freaking Knight Rider.
Death Proof or like Christine.
Like it's freaking Mr. Feeney, like Knight Rider, like doom doom doom. All right, so freaking he gets on the dock.
This is so gay because
he backs up on the docks and
he
Blondie's
just like sends him a message or something. They don't kill him because he's a main actor. Like they just he rides him into the box of crates and then he comes up to him with the hook and you think it's gonna be a tight kill.
Oh yeah, and it's a total
They make you hate this character so you think he's about to get
It's a tight camera shot because the camera's looking up at the killer and he whips out the hook and it's dope. And then freaking
I think the asshole's about to get it and then no, they just fade out like the gayest fade out ever.
And it cuts to the
hospital.
You
don't get to see what happens and he's in the hospital the next day and they're like
and Jennifer Love Skank shows up and Buffy the Vampire show up. And he's like, for the 40th time, I don't know who it was. I didn't see his face. That's what he says. For the 40th time, I didn't see his face. It's hilarious. It's a good line.
No, then Freddie Prinze is there too, and this is when the main cast starts arguing with each other, like, and they're accusing Freddie Prinze, like, where were you last night? Start arguing, and then they still think it's Max in the end of it. All that argument. So then it cuts to Jennifer Love Slut and Sarah Michelle Gellar researching about David Egan more into that.
No, they're like, should we go to the police though when they're talking to the hospital?
Online 97 dial-up internet, like going slow as fuck, like only able to research one
so
thing
they're looking
at a
up
time.
so they're looking up David's story, and then freaking
only be able to go to like 3 pages in like 45 minutes.
They freaking look up David's story and they're like, all right, he's got family living here. And they're like, what do we do? Should we just go? And then they go. And you're like, okay, it's just 2 girls with no plan. Okay.
No, that's when they say his girlfriend died in a car crash. So they're like, so then they drive to the country to talk to his family with no plan. They even mention that they have no plan.
So they show up there and it's like all wood shots.
No, then both of them are like dressed in hardcore 90s clothes.
I'm saying the wood shots.
This time she's wearing like hiked up like jean
Buffy the Vampire
shorts that are cut off.
She looks pretty hot in this part. But anyway, so they get there and it's like,
and what's her name's like wearing a freaking dress with
and
like
then it's
a white,
that one skinny white actor.
Like
it's that one
grandma
chick.
would wear.
It's that one chick at the house. So they knock at the front door, no one's there. They walk around the back and then freaking they find her. And then anyways, they go inside and they're like, yeah, start asking questions. Yeah, our car broke down. Freaking, we need to call AAA. But then freaking Buffy turns around like freaking walks
to
like
into the fisherman's outfit.
And she's like, oh, and it's like a freaking scare, jump scare.
If you like it, it's iconic.
Yeah, anyway,
it's not
so
that
then
scary,
freaking, she just starts asking all the questions like, hey, how do you die?
She's like, yeah, I was class of 88.
Class of 88.
And she's like a little deranged. She's a little slow.
Anyway, so freaking, she finds out more. Jennifer Love Slut's finding out more.
She's like, what'd you know about your brother? She kind of like eases into it, and she finally gets to talking to her because she's not that bright.
And she's like, no, and then she tells the story
about... I dated one of his friends.
Yeah, Billy Blue. She talks about Billy Blue.
But he never called
how
her.
he was the friend, because they're trying to find out, if the killer, this is their plan, they're trying to find out if the killer is one of the guy's friends that they killed. So she's saying this guy who came, out of town to his funeral, Billy Blue. And you're like, okay.
Let's sum this up, then we're going to go.
We're going to go to part 3. So then freaking, alright, so we find out Billy Blue.
And then they go to leave.
So no, they go to leave. Like, they rush
it's
out.
It's an emotional scene.
No, they rush out. And
she's like,
yeah, they're in the car. They're just in the car
killed
talking.
them and it affected everyone's life.
Yeah, and then it's
so
a total
gay.
no, and then it's another jump scare and the white chick.
I hate emotional scenes in horror movies.
No, so it's another jump scare and she's like, "Hey, you forgot your cigarette." She pounds on the window and she rolls it down. And then freaking, she's like, "Hey, our car just started." And she's like, "Hey, it's funny how it just starts."
And then they started thinking maybe
she drives away, and you're like, "Okay, they're not gonna wait for AAA." You're like, "What? Okay."
And they started thinking it's because it was just a scheme. They wanted to talk to her, and she was like, maybe you wanted someone to run them over.
And anyways, we'll talk about what it gets to. No, it cuts to them freaking still talking again, and it cuts to nighttime, and they're in the car still talking.
She drops her off.
So we'll cut to that in part 3 of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Check it out, the in-depth horror discussion review.